Brian Jones, let's talk some Texas, Bama. It is the game everybody's been waiting for. Give us your thoughts. Where's your head on this matchup as we're 2 days away?
Well, after watching the game film, and I'm sorry with inundating you with video clips earlier in the week.
No, don't be sorry. That was a great way to get up at 7, 8 in the morning. Brian's just sending me plays. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, man. I forgot about that. But as I was watching, I said, let me send this to my boy, as I would do in past years, to you and Trey as well.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, it was a little choppy, especially on the offensive line. And after going back and watching the game film, I felt a little better because everything is fixable. And when it's fixable, it's easily fixed following a victory. So early on, I just couldn't understand the miscommunication up front. And I saw where Coach Sark said the same thing. They were doing things that were uncharacteristic. But, I mean, there was one play where Banks was blocking air. He had a 5 technique and his turn pro protection. He lets the guy go free reign to Ewers, and no one was in 5 yards. I was like, what the hell is he doing? It was mind-boggling to watch that. Another on the other side, you got Jones and who's the right guard? Is that the Majors?
That was right Campbell guard? In the first
Campbell, yeah, 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got easy twist stunts, loops that Rice is running, rudimentary stuff. And these guys weren't picking it up. Now, in their defense, you practice that, but then when you go up against guys that do it for a living, that's all they do. It's a little different. It's faster. I understand that. So chalk it up to the first ball game, live contact. So I get it. But they played much better in the second half. And there were some plays I sent you, Chad, where Banks was driving a guy 10, 20 yards down the field. Jones, the same thing. And so that bothered me, but not as much after watching the game film. The same with Ewers, not connecting on those long throws. That was problematic. Here are guys who've been playing together for over a year now. And if there's one thing, at least most schools, they probably do this in Texas as well, in lieu of sprints, what quarterbacks and the receivers do is they throw 9 routes. They throw go routes at the end of practice. Post-practice, that's what you do. And so you would think they would be in sync on those type of plays, and obviously they weren't. So they need to hit on those plays. The backs, Baxter, nice. That long run he had, man, he starts out right, cuts back left, great feet. I thought Brooks, other than the touchdown he dropped, the second one, he ran well and hard. And 23, that's the blue, right? Jaden Blue.
Yep.
Yes. Another guy that looked good running between the tackles. He was very patient as well in his runs. Mitchell, he's a receiver, crazy talent, but on that short yardage play, he's got to block that end guy. Just get in his way. He did nothing. He just allowed him to go in and make the tackle, so he needs to be more committed to the blocking. But other than that, I thought they looked great. Jay Witt did his thing. Another guy that needs to work on blocking, I don't think he can because I had the same problems with him last year, and that's Sanders, the tight end. He's not a willing blocker. So why ask him to do it? And so other than that, man, they got the victory. They looked great in spots. Offensive line was choppy. Defense was smothering. Loved what they did. I was in studio on that, like, yes, that's how you play defense. You had everyone running to the football. They were bringing the wood. And Sweat had one heck of a game. That Burke kid, 91, had a sack, missed another sack, but everyone's hair was on fire, man. They were flying to the ball carrier, and I love that. And coverage, were great, other than one long crossing route, which was a bust. Other than that, they didn't give up anything. I think it was 2 explosive plays that they allowed. But that's what you want to see on the defensive side of the ball, man. Ford, once again, he just attracts the football. Got him another pick. So I love what I saw there. They didn't have to dial up blitzes to get to the quarterback. If they can do that this week, and that allows you a lot of flexibility to keep some eyeballs on Jalen Milroe, who's a hell of a quarterback, especially as a dual threat, If they can get that type of pressure with just the 4 guys, and it was all of them. It was, Sweat. It was 95. I'm forgetting his name. Help me out. Collins. You had Broughton, 45. All those guys. I mentioned Burke. That kid, 43, that linebacker, he was bringing the funk. Very physical player. So they played a lot of guys. And everyone they played, it seems as though they knew what the heck that they were doing. And that is refreshing. I think I heard someone, they played like 30 guys on the defensive side of the ball. And that's, you want to have those reserves that have had some game time. You're going to need them late in the season, man. So it's excellent that you could get that type of game action for the guys who are not going to start. So overall defense, I have no complaints whatsoever. That was wonderful. Now looking at Bama, I went and looked at their film, and Chad, I think I sent you a clip from them as well. Their offensive line had some issues. Middle Tennessee State, I believe, had 2 or 3 sacks, and some of theirs were more of the physical variety. Whereas with Texas, it was miscommunication. Those guys, Middle Tennessee State, they were running through some Bama guys. They were running through backs that really weren't committed to pass blocking. And I know they got an earful in their film session because that's not Alabama-like. So they will correct that. That was their first game. Obviously, Texas' first game. So all those things will get corrected. But there were some issues on that Bama offensive line as well. When you look at their defense, they got some guys that looked the part. Braswell, 41. They got this one kid. He's not even a kid. I think he's a senior now, 40. Man, I'm looking at this dude like, damn, I need to go work out. This cat, Blackshear. Woo! He's the type of cat you want to let get off the bus first. and man, they looked the part. But my point is, I didn't see a Will Anderson Jr. out there. I did not see a guy with that type of ability. I didn't see a guy as violent as he played. Not to say they're not good. They are. They got another young man transferred from Georgia, Tresman Marshall, I believe his name, linebacker. They only had 19 tackles in his 4 or 5 years there at Bama. At Georgia, transfers over to Bama. That just shows you what type of talent they have there that this kid has to transfer to Alabama to get some playing time. And that's not a knock on him or what they have at Bama, but he couldn't break into that lineup at Georgia. They got some dudes, and he wasn't one of them on campus that long, and you only got 19 tackles. Now he's found some playing time. So my point is, I think this is an even fight, guys. Everyone's saying a couple guys I work with at CBS, we picked the other night, took Bama, and they said they would boat race Texas. I don't believe that. If Texas plays and doesn't have self-inflicted wounds, they can win this ball game. And hell, I'll go out on them and say they can boat race Bama because Texas has the talent. It's comparable now, and they can look at last year's film and say, we had these cats. We had them lit with a Heisman Trophy quarterback. Now, Jalen Milroe is good. He threw 3 touchdowns, 2 he ran for, something that's never been done. But when you can't get pressure on him and guys are wide open, you can do that. I don't foresee guys being wide open. I don't foresee him having that amount of time to throw. So this is an even fight. And I think Texas can win this ball game. And I'm going to say it won't be close if they come to play. Everyone thinks Bama's going to boat race. That's bullshit. That's my one curse for you. That's it. No more. No, I'm tired of hearing that. People saying, oh, Texas back. Well, we say that. I said it, yeah, because I saw it with my own eyes, being there on that field with them at that practice. And I understand my boy Randy Cross is tired of hearing that. Well, Horns, go out and prove it, man. You belong. You know you belong. Go prove it.
Brian, it sounds like you think both of these defenses can take advantage of the same kind of issues potentially, that both teams have offensive lines that need to be better on Saturday. Is it the first one to 17, the first one to 20? Like I've been thinking this game plays lower scoring than a lot of people think it's going to be.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't, maybe I'm getting beside myself because I'm tired of hearing all these other people say that Texas won't have a chance. And obviously they have forgotten what they witnessed a season ago. And I was in accord with them. I didn't think Texas would play as well as they did versus Bama. They proved us wrong. Now the rest of the season, there were some things that left a sour taste in your mouth because I was expecting that effort, and I believe after that game I said, okay, you've now set the standard of how you need to play and how you can play. Go live up to it, okay? All right, and they didn't in those 5 losses. So I could see it being another close affair, and it may come down to both these defenses if the offenses don't fix what hurt them a week ago. Texas O-line needs to be more physical and can't have the mental mistakes, but definitely be more physical, the point of attack. But the talent's there, man. I put Texas and talent up with Bama. Nothing scares me on that Bama side as it did a year ago with Jameer Gibbs, Bryce Young. Nothing. Will Anderson Jr. on the defense side of the ball doesn't scare me.
Talking with Brian Jones, CBS Sports. By the way, that CBS 2:30 game this week is UNLV at Michigan. No Harbaugh again, but obviously Michigan trying to bring a lot of offense and defense to that one. Check that out. Also, Brian, in that 2:30 window, my Aggies are trying to go to South Beach and beat the Hurricanes. Do you think they do it?
Yes, I think they do. And I think that's going to be a hell of a game as well. I told you a week ago, I believe, I like DeConnor Wegman at quarterback. I like the way this kid plays. He's got a ton of weapons with Stewart and Muhammad and others, Anaya Smith. They are a good football team, a damn good football team. And I think Petrino's going to help more than not. I don't know why. Everyone's trying to bring into fruition this animosity between Fisher and Bobby Petrino. Wow. I just don't get it. And it's a testament to Jimbo Fisher that he said, I ain't threatened by this dude who's coached a long time as a head coach. I respect his offensive mind and prowess, so I'm going to bring him in, see if he can help us innovate and continue to grow at the quarterback position. And was it a year ago? I want to say it was Sam Houston State or somewhat, New Mexico State or somewhat. A&M got out of the gate and they looked horrible. I think it was last year, that first ball game. I think it barely scored or something. Maybe it was Nicholls State or somebody. I can't recall. This is a different football team, and it's that D line is glitters with 5 stars. The one comes from Miami, the Shamar Stewart kid. He said they were shunning him when he didn't pick the Canes. But yeah, I think they can win. Now Miami much better. They got a guy at safety who's an All-American, Kitchens. So you might want to stay away from him. They got some pass rushes. They got a hell of a receiver, that young kid. He goes about 6'4", 6'5". And I've always liked Tyler Van Dyke. As a matter of fact, I picked Miami to win last year in Aggie Land because of Tyler Van Dyke. And you go back and look at that film, there were a ton of drops in that ball game for Miami. But I think A&M can win. They just keep themselves about them as well. They'll be fine.
I wanted to go back to the Texas game for a second and ask you a question about Quinn, because we asked this yesterday and the responses to it were overwhelming. On a scale of 1 to 10 confidence scale with you and Quinn Ewers, you are where with Ewers on the confidence scale?
Factoring everything I witnessed the season go, of course, the Bama game and the return and how that was a mixed bag and what I saw yesterday, I'm going to say 6. I'm a 6. You got to sync up with those cats on those long balls, man. That's why you have a Worthy, you have a Mitchell. Those cats change everything for your offense. And they, trust me, at Alabama, in their defensive meeting, they are circling both of those guys. And Mitchell's gotten Bama before when he was at Georgia, a couple times in the college football playoff, in the SEC championship game. So they are circling those guys. We cannot allow these guys to beat us. And how do we not allow them to beat us? Is by getting to the quarterback. Now, offensive line is going to factor into whether or not Ewers has a good game. But when he has the opportunity, he has to hit those guys in stride. And he also has to recognize things. For instance, going back to the TCU game last year, he had Bijan Robinson, little outlet in the flat, wheel route, missed it. You got to be more decisive and know where your guys are. So I'm going to say a 6 until I can see more consistency from him. Need more consistency. First game, all right, we're gonna chalk it up to that. But once again, you should be able to hit those guys, man. You've been working with them all spring. You've been working with Worthy since last year. Those 9 routes, those are the easy ones. Put enough air under the ball, let them go get it. Because either one can go get it. Just throw it up there with enough air, they're going to go get it. Or I bet they can induce the defender into a PI.
Brian, you've watched Bama play a whole lot, working with CBS and how much they're on, and you guys have focused in on Bama so much over the years. Give me a sense, like for a Texas fan that maybe hasn't watched a game in Tuscaloosa, right? Then maybe they don't tune into a lot of those games. They're paying attention to their stuff. What are you going to look for in the first quarter, early on, it's first 5 to 10 minutes or whatever? Because I'm sure you've seen it where like 5-6 minutes in, oh, Lord, this team does not have a shot. Nick's crew is going to roll them out of here. What do you look for early when somebody's trying to go win at Bama?
How physical they play. How physical. In the trenches, are they coming up? Are they striking Bama ball carriers? And if they get hit by the Bama players, are they jumping up and no worse for the wear? And they come right back and run at them again. But you got to go give it to them because they're going to come. And you're going to notice it on the opening kickoff. My hope is that Texas wins the toss and they defer. I want to see them play defense. I want to see them go out and show the Bama faithful, we came to play. We're going to hit your ass in the mouth, and we're going to do it for 4 quarters because this is the new Texas. That's what I want to see. I am praying that they win the toss and defer. And if they don't, say Bama wins it and Bama takes the ball, same mentality. Let's go get them from play one and show them. And in this game, hell, whoever gets the ball first, they may take that deep shot, right out the gate. I wouldn't be surprised if either offense was aggressive. But what I always look for is how physical teams are when they play Bama. And it can't just be 1 quarter. And it's the same for Georgia now. It can't just be 1 quarter. It's got to be throughout that game. And it's easy to do, guys, those first couple of quarters. You get in that third and that fourth, totally different. I remember watching Bama and Georgia play in the SEC championship game. Eddie Lacy was at Bama then. You guys remember big old Eddie Lacy went to Green Bay?
Yep.
And they were tattooing his ass first half. The Bulldogs were. Second half, nope, they ain't want none of it because they wear on you. They wear on you. Now, they don't have that type of back now, I don't think. But Bama wants to run the rock. They're going to lean on – this is going to be old man football. That's what they want to get back to. And Jalen Milroe, he won the job. He looked good. Once again, he's a freak. Sark recruited the guy when he was at Bama, so he knows how talented he is. But he got sacked twice, at least twice in last week's ball game. They were running some games up front, and then some, it was just Middle Tennessee guys saying, I'm just going to run through you, and I'm going to win. And some of them did. So that, I'm sure, was a glaring issue when they went into the film room. We got to fix that. We got to be more physical. But Middle Tennessee State was not afraid, is the point I'm making. They came to play. They just didn't have the talent. But they came to play, and they played, even though that was finally 42, whatever, they were still hunting late in that ball game because they know the pro scouts going to be watching that film. Hell, they might notice me. We get as a team, we're getting our behinds kicked. But they might notice, well, this dude over here, he held his own. And there were a few of them, 4 at backer, 21 at backer for Middle Tennessee. So that's what they played as though, so what is Bama? Even though they knew they didn't have the horses to win that ball game. So long answer, I'm sorry, Chad, but yeah, from the get-go, how physical. And Texas was physical last year in this ball game, so they know what they're going to get, and they know what it takes to play against a Bama.
Yeah. Brian, my last question kind of takes everything that you've said under consideration. The confidence, the areas where you have confidence in Texas, the Quinn Ewers confidence. If we roll all of that together, Texas wins this weekend. On Monday, the MVP, the players of this game, the guys that have put NFL resume tape together and then some to lead this team to victory, who are the guys? Who on Monday are we talking about?
Whew. Oh man, I think it starts with that O line. They've got to win. Texas O line is going to be the reason they win this ball game. Collectively, they have to win. They, I think Bijan had what, maybe 30, 40 yards rushing in this one a year ago. I know he didn't have many.
Mm-mm.
And it was Ewers throwing the long ball. It was the defense coming up nails when they needed to it until Watt missed that sack on Bryce Young. But it's got to be the O line, man. You got to win in the trenches. You have to win in the trenches. I am not worried about this Texas defense, and I would be really, really surprised if they don't play as well on that side of the ball as they did the other night or the other day. But that O line for Texas will be the MVP. They win this ball game.
All right, Brian, before we let you go, earlier in the week, Ketch was saying he wanted to feel a little James Brown out of Quinn Ewers, but he hadn't really felt it yet. But you were giving us a little bit of that James Brown earlier, a little bit of that. Everybody's talking about them by a lot. What about us by a lot? So let's get you on the record. Channel your James Brown energy and tell us, if you see everything you think you're going to see, what's the final?
Whew.
45-12. Say it.
Dude, no, man, I don't think they whip them that way. I would say, I'm going to say 27-13.
Okay.
Ooh,
All right. 2 full touchdowns, but holding them down at 13. That'd be an impressive performance from that Texas defense. And like Brian says, if they go get the win, that offensive line is going to have to be.
I saw where someone just put up that Bama couldn't cover Tennessee wide receivers, and he's 100% correct, or she, who put that up. Oh, man, so that's a he. I don't know these days. I'm just playing, America. I'm just playing.
It's funny because it's true.
It is so true. Oh my goodness. Funny story. One of my coworkers, I'm not gonna say his name, I don't want to get him in trouble, but he was at some function and he asked how was so-and-so doing, and so-and-so is now on the other side, and he didn't know, and the people got mad. How did you not know that they transitioned? And I'm like, man, I don't be following their business and all that. So yes, Ketch, that's it, man. But Ben is correct. And who picked Tennessee to beat Bama last year? Everyone raise their hand.
Ooh. There you go. There it is.
And the reason why is because they could threaten that back end. If their O-line could hold up, they had the quarterback and Hooker, they had those receivers that could threaten the back end, and they lit them up. They lit them up. And that was why I picked. I thought they could give them just headaches. Same with this Texas team. So that's why I'm saying offensive line. You have to be the MVP. You have to give Ewers time, and he's got to be on point. So play your part as well, Ewers. But you have the guys. You got Worthy. You got Mitchell. You got Sanders. You got Jay Witt. You got more than enough pieces to go out and threaten this secondary, man. I didn't see Kool-Aid McKinstry, good player. Excellent player. Most teams will stay away from him. Texas shouldn't. Go right at his ass. Can't be afraid of him. Go make you a highlight tape. This will be, for these receivers, and especially that dude, this will be their NFL tape. This is how you want to get to that next level. Show off in this game. That's how you get to that next level. Get down in this bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Just come on, Cletus. Come on.
Cletus, come on.
You all come on, Cletus. You'll run over here with your left back.
Yeah, come on. Hercules.
Hercules. That's what Texas needs. Hercules. Brian, we always appreciate your time. I hope you are right on your predictions and we get 2 house divided teams making statements on the road. I would love to see it. We'll talk to you next week, man. Enjoy the games.
Welcome.